you are a female runner over 45, there are a few things you may be doing in training that feel completely normal. They feel disciplined, they feel sensible, they feel like the sort of thing a committed runner should do. But some of them are increasing your risk of injury, fatigue, and frustration. And the annoying part is, most of them do not look like obvious mistakes. They look like consistency. They look like being tough. They look like sticking to the plan. They look like doing what worked for you 10 or 15 years ago. But after 45, the rules start to change a little. Not because you are fragile, not because you cannot improve, and definitely not because your best running is behind you, but because recovery, strength, hormones, sleep, stress, and life are all starting to have a bigger say in whether your training actually works. So today, I have this board. On this side, we have smart, and on this side, we have risky. And I'm going to sort 9 things female runners over 45 should stop doing in training. Some of them will be obvious. Some of them may feel a little personal. And the last one is the one that catches the most committed runners because it sounds like a good thing until it starts breaking you down. Before we start sorting these, if you're a female runner over the age of 45 and you want training advice that actually understands this stage of life, make sure you subscribe. This channel is here to help you keep running, keep improving, and stop feeling like every training block ends with a physio appointment, a bag of frozen peas, and the words, "I probably should have listened first." Right, first card. Every run is a fitness test. We're going to move that straight into risky. A lot of runners say they are going for an easy run, but what they are really doing is checking if they still have it. They check the pace, they compare it to last week, they compare it to what they used to run, they finish the run, and they decide whether they are fit, unfit, improving, declining, or having a full identity crisis because kilometer 3 was slower than expected. That is exhausting, and it turns easy running into pressure. After 45, easy runs have to be allowed to be easy. Some days they'll be slower. Some other days they'll feel better. Some days your body will say, absolutely not today, thank you. That's not failure, that's just really good feedback. A smart run starts with one question. What is the purpose? What is the job of this run? If the job is recovery, let it recover you. If the job is aerobic support, let it feel calm. Save the testing for the sessions that are actually meant to test you. Those are sessions like time trials. And this matters because if every run becomes a little exam, the next mistake becomes almost impossible to avoid. Next, using a plan that does not know your life. This one is risky. A plan you found online may not be that bad, but it does not know you. It does not know your sleep. It does not know your work stress. It doesn't know if you're in perimenopause, postmenopause, caring for family, working long hours, or trying to squeeze in a long run between grocery shopping and someone asking, what's for dinner? A generic plan assumes a generic life. And most women over 45 do not have one of those. The danger is that you end up forcing your real body into an imaginary week. That is where training starts to become expensive. So instead, use the plan as a guide, not as law. And this goes under smart. If the week has been stressful, adjust. If sleep has been awful, adjust. If a niggle is building, adjust. That is not being inconsistent. That is coaching yourself properly. Because the plan does not get injured, you do. This next one might be the most common. Strength training only after something hurts. Strength training cannot only appear once your knee starts complaining. That's like only servicing your car once smoke is coming out of the bonnet. And after 45, strength training becomes a part of running, not extra, not punishment, not something you do for 3 weeks in January with a new mat and then forget until your calf sends a very strongly worded email. Strength training supports your muscles, tendons, bones, hips, calves, balance, and running form. And the goal is not to become a bodybuilder. The goal is to become harder to break. 1 to 2 short sessions a week can be enough to start. Ensure that you focus on things like calves, glutes, hamstrings, quads, hips, and your core. Simple, consistent, and progressive. That is the key. 2 short strength sessions a week is smart. Do not wait for pain to make strength urgent. Make strength training normal. This next one is where very committed runners accidentally dig themselves into a hole, making every week a build week. This is sneaky. And a lot of runners think that progress means every week has to be a little bit more mileage, a longer long run, a faster session, more climbing, more strength, more everything. Your body does not improve because you endlessly add stress. It improves when you apply stress, then give it enough time to adapt. If every week is a build week, eventually your body starts looking for an exit. And it usually finds one through a sore calf, Achilles, a sore hip, knee, or foot. A smarter training block has rhythm. Build, absorb, build, absorb. A recovery week is not a failed week. It is a part of the plan. Think of it like baking. You cannot keep turning the oven hotter and hotter and expect a better cake. At some point, you just burn the edges and pretend you like it crispy. Training works the same way. You need enough heat to create change, but not so much that everything falls apart. And once you understand that, the next card becomes that much more important. Ignoring symptoms. You do not need to become obsessed with every single tiny body signal. Nobody needs a 3-page diary entry because their left calf felt emotionally distant on Tuesday. But ignoring clear patterns is risky. If your sleep changes, if your cycle changes, if your recovery changes, your joints feel different, your mood drops, hot flashes are affecting your sleep, or easy runs suddenly feel harder, that is useful information. It's not about weakness, it's not drama, it's good feedback. Perimenopause and menopause can change how you respond to training. Not for every woman in the same way, but enough that pretending nothing has changed can backfire. So this belongs in SMART. Tracking patterns. Not perfectly, not with a spreadsheet that needs its own assistant, just enough to notice what is going on. Sleep, energy, mood, niggles, cycle changes if that's relevant to you, recovery, how hard easy runs are feeling, because once you see patterns, you can make better decisions. This is exactly why tools like HRV can be useful. Sometimes poor sleep, stress, alcohol, caffeine, or inconsistent routines affect recovery for days before runners notice it. And that's why we built a tool that helps runners track those patterns and run simple experiments to see what actually impacts their training and recovery. Next up is training on fumes. This one goes straight into risky. A lot of female runners over 45 are trying to train, recover, build strength, protect bone, manage stress, improve performance while not eating enough. Sometimes it's intentional. Sometimes it's old diet culture. But sometimes it's just life being busy. Breakfast might become coffee. Lunch is something that you have while standing up. Then you go for a run and you wonder why your legs feel like someone replaced your muscles with damp cardboard. Fuel is not a reward for running. Fuel is a part of training. If you want your body to adapt, it needs materials. Carbohydrates matter. Protein matters. Eating enough matters, especially around harder sessions and longer runs. Trying to train hard without fuel is like asking a builder to renovate a house, but forgetting to deliver the bricks. They can show up, they can have a plan, they can be ready to go, but nothing good is getting built. So this goes in SMART. Fueling to recover. And if food, body image, or weight feels complicated, please get support from a qualified professional. You deserve support there, not shame. This is exactly why we created the Running Through Menopause Masterclass, because most female runners over 45 do not need to be told to work harder. They're already working hard. They need to understand how to train in a way that fits the body they have now. In the masterclass, we go deeper into how to structure your week, where strength fits in, how to manage intensity, how to recover properly, and how to keep building fitness without constantly feeling one step away from another injury. So if this is already making you think, well, this sounds very familiar, use the link in the description to join the free masterclass. And keep watching, because the next one is a mistake female runners often make because they are trying to be good, which is honestly really annoying. Running through warning signs. Not every ache is a disaster. You do not need to panic every time something feels stiff, but there are warning signs you should not ignore. If pain changes your stride, pay attention. If it gets worse as you run, pay attention. If it lingers after your run, pay attention. If there's pain at night, pay attention. If it keeps coming back in the same place, pay attention. If you're nervous before every run because you're wondering whether that thing will show up again and again, that is where you pay attention. That is not your body being dramatic. It's essentially your body trying to have a conversation before it starts shouting. A smart runner responds and adjusts early. That might mean shortening the run, swapping the session, taking an extra recovery day, cross-training, or getting proper help. The goal is not to stop at every tiny sensation. The goal is to stop pretending recurring pain is fine because you technically finished the run. Finishing the run is not always the win. Sometimes the win is being able to run again next week. Next up, stacking hard days too close together. This is one of the easiest mistakes to make, especially when you are self-coached. You look at the week and think, intervals Tuesday, strength Wednesday, tempo Thursday, long run Saturday. And on paper, that looks pretty organized. In the body, it feels like being chased by a bear for 4 days. Hard sessions need space. And strength counts. Long runs count. Hill sessions count. Your life stress and poor sleep counts. Your body does not care that one thing was only strength or only a short run. It just adds up the total load. And this is why recovery can feel confusing after 45 years old. It's not often one workout. It's sleep, stress, alcohol, training load, and recovery all stacking together. A smarter week separates the big demands. Space the stress. If Tuesday is hard, Wednesday needs to support recovery. If strength is heavy, do not place it where it ruins your next key run. If the long run is big, do not treat the next day like nothing happened. After 45, better spacing can be the difference between consistent training and constantly managing niggles. And this leads to the final card. This is the one that sounds sensible. It sounds disciplined. It may even be something you're proud of. But taken too far, it becomes risky. Calling stubbornness consistency. This is a big one. I never miss a session. I always finish what I start. I stick to the plan. Those can be good qualities until they become stubbornness in running shoes. Real consistency is not forcing every session no matter what. Real consistency is staying healthy enough to train well for months. Sometimes that means doing the plan. Sometimes it means changing the plan. It may mean making the easy run easier or moving a workout. Sometimes it means resting today so you do not lose 3 weeks later. So this goes in SMART. Flexible consistency. That is not weakness. That is maturity. You're not training to win one random Tuesday. You're training to keep showing up. And for female runners over 45, the long game matters. Because the runners who last are not always the ones who can suffer the most. They are the ones who know when to respond before the body forces the issue. So, this is the risky side. Testing yourself on every run. Copying plans that do not fit your life. Skipping strength until something starts to hurt. Building every single week. Ignoring symptoms. Training underfueled. Running through warning signs. Stacking hard days too close together. And calling stubbornness consistency. And this is the smarter side. Run by the purpose of the session. Use the plan as a guide. Strength train consistently. Build and absorb. Track patterns. Fuel to recover. Adjust early. Space the stress and practice flexible consistency. That is not a softer approach, it is just a better one. So if you are a female runner over 45 and your training keeps ending in injury, the answer is not to blame your body, and it's not to give up on big goals. The answer is to stop training like the same rules apply forever. But there's another problem sitting right next to this one. Because even when female runners over 45 stop making these mistakes, many feel like they've lost their speed. They can run, they can keep going, they may even feel pretty fit. But as soon as they try to go faster, something starts to hurt. That is the next thing you need to understand. So watch this video next, because we are going to break down why female runners over 45 lose speed and how to start getting it back without turning every harder session into an injury risk.